Quiche is super easy to prep ahead, and you can literally add whatever you want and it still tastes great. Here, I'm gonna show you how to make 2 tasty combos: our 5-ingredient asparagus and feta quiche, and our 5-ingredient caramelized onion and mushroom quiche. And we're gonna kick things off with the asparagus and feta quiche combo. For the asparagus and feta quiche, here are the ingredients you'll need: pie crust, whole milk, eggs, asparagus, and feta cheese. First things first, let's get our oven preheating. We're gonna set it to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, now as that's preheating, we're gonna prep our asparagus. It's super easy. We're just gonna trim them. I like doing it by just snapping them in half. We now take the trimmed asparagus. We're gonna put it in a microwave safe bowl. This is just a silicone kind of chopper for the microwave. I like using this to prevent, things splattering, but it also kind of helps to get the asparagus steamed in here. For that, we're gonna add some water, just enough to cover the tops of the asparagus here. All right, so I'm just gonna cover these and put them in the microwave for 2 minutes and let them steam. Alrighty, so the asparagus are just steamed, and what we are gonna do now is get them out of the water and onto our chopping board so we can cut them into 1-inch pieces. So carefully, because these are a little warm, we're just gonna split them in half. They don't have to be perfect, of course, and cut them into about 1-inch pieces. There you go, and then you can add them directly to your pie pan here. I'm using some prepared whole wheat pie crusts. And then to our pie pan, we are gonna crumble some feta cheese directly in here. Okay, so I need 1 1/4 cups worth of milk. So I'm gonna just measure it right out into here. And then I need 4 eggs. Before we whisk it up, we need some salt and pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, which is about a generous pinch. Quiche is a big thing in my family. My mom is the queen of quiche. Whenever we see her for a meal, there's always a quiche on the table. And it makes sense, it's delicious. It's a great way to use up stuff in your fridge, all those veggie odds and ends. And it's delicious for breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, whatever the occasion, it works. All right, that is whisked. We're gonna pour this milk and egg mixture directly into our pie pan here. Quiche number 1 is ready to go in the oven. I'm just gonna put it to the side while we make our second quiche, and then they can both cook at the same time and be ready at the same time. For the caramelized onion and mushroom quiche, here are the ingredients you'll need: pie crust, whole milk, eggs, onion, and mushrooms. First things first, we're gonna slice up this big red onion. And we are only gonna use half of this onion, so I'm gonna just put this other half to the side. We just want slices, so we're gonna just this red onion will add some nice color to the quiche as well. But of course you can use whatever onion you have on hand. So we got our onions, and then next up we have just our little cremini mushrooms, and we're gonna slice these. So if you remember the formula of a pie crust, milk, eggs, salt and pepper, you can make a quiche with whatever you have on hand. All right, now that our veggies are prepped for our second quiche, we're gonna head on over to the stove and get these babies caramelized. Okay, so we're at the stove now. We're gonna get our onions and mushrooms caramelized. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil to our skillet here. And I will just let that heat up. And once that is warm, we are gonna add our red onions here. So I'm just gonna dump them into the pan, let them cook about 5 minutes, and then we'll add our mushrooms. All right, so these onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes. Now in go our sliced mushrooms. Okay, I'll give this a stir. and gonna let this cook for another 5 minutes. So basically we want the veggies to reduce by half. And the very last step is we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We can cut the heat on this and head back over to the counter. Alrighty, so these onions and mushrooms have cooled down just a little bit. And what I'm gonna do now is just pop them into our last pie pan here. Now we want to make our milk and egg mixture here. We're gonna go for another 1 1/4 cup of milk and 4 eggs. We need some pepper in here as well. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We can whisk. Alrighty, so now that our eggs and milk are all ready, we're gonna pour it into our pie pan here. So these are obviously easy enough that you can do them the morning of brunch or morning of Mother's Day, Easter, whatever the case may be. But if you want to get ahead even more, you could make them fully, freeze them, and then just reheat them when you're ready to eat. Okay, so now time to pop these in the oven. And I will say, you got to be careful when you bring it over there. And it sometimes helps to just pop this, spilled a little bit, on a plate, and then bring it to the oven. So that's what I'm going to do. And we'll see these quiches in 30 minutes. Look at these gorgeous quiches. I'm gonna let these cool down just a little bit and then we will plate them up and dig in. Look how yummy. I maybe let this one cook a little bit too long, but it still looks delish. It's nice to maybe serve this with a little fruit salad, go for some dressed greens here. So I'm just gonna plate a little of these shredded sprouts up. Just drizzle this on top of the salad. Okay, so I'm gonna dig in. Oh my gosh, that feta, so yummy. For only having 5 ingredients, this is a seriously impressive quiche. You can get this asparagus and feta quiche and our caramelized onion and mushroom quiche on EatingWell.com, plus more delicious 5-ingredient quiche combinations. If you make any of these quiches, make sure you take a photo, add it to Instagram, and tag me. Thanks so much for watching. Happy cooking, and I'll see you guys next time on Prep School.